Pakistan is on the brink of bankruptcy. Foreign exchange reserves at an all-time low. Barely any money left for imports. An unprecedented energy and food crisis. Experts warn that Pakistan could very well go the Sri Lanka way. The country is desperate for that elusive IMF bailout package. The IMF says no deal till all our conditions are met. But despite the dire situation, instead of spending its limited financial resources on public welfare and infrastructure development, the country has been increasing its defense budget year after year. It was $5 billion last year. Therefore, we ask, has Pakistan got its priorities all wrong?
The writing is on the wall for Pakistan, and it's a choice between the devil and the deep blue sea. The first round of talks with visiting IMF officials, 10 days that ended on the 9th of February, had fallen through. The $1.1 billion aid tranche not cleared as conditions that Pakistan sees as difficult were not met, as its leaders look to keep up a brave face.
God willing, we will try to complete the IMF program for the second time in Pakistan's history with the same spirit. We have completed this process keeping in view the sovereign commitment.
First, face up to Pakistan's ground realities. Essential commodities, wheat, milk, eggs have gone through the roof, even when they are available. Wheat costs 1.5 times what it did in January last year. Onions cost 4 times what they did a year back. At many petrol pumps, even in big cities, fuel has dried up. For the middle and lower middle classes, daily life is an uphill challenge. Now contrast the state of affairs to the IMF's conditions for a desperately needed loan. The first reform proposal is to mobilize revenue by raising tax to GDP ratio and ensuring tax collection targets are met. The second proposal is to bring untargeted subsidies in the gas and power sectors to zero. That implies that the government charges consumers the cost that it incurs to produce and deliver power and gas. Next, definitive moves to control mounting circular debt. This as against past stands on controlling debt itself, and clear measures to meet the primary budget deficit target.
Pakistan is pretty desperate for this because we don't really have any other option. Our neighbor, or I would say the friendly countries that often used to bail us out, they are not bailing us out anymore. And they are saying that, you know what, get some approval, get some consent from the IMF before we can give you some money. So this is what's happening. That's why Pakistan is desperate. If the program does not go through, then we may see a situation which is like Sri Lanka emerging over the next, I would say, 6 to 8 months.
Pakistan is for gradual progress on the conditions. IMF wants these measures in place up front. Elections just months away means political necessities stand firmly in the way.
As Pakistan battles one of its worst economic crises, the country is signaling to the IMF that it is adhering to the IMF demands at all costs, because this is the only lifeline that can sustain the economy and avoid the country from going towards an all-out default.
But is it really only about political exigencies? Realities are not far. Fact is, the crisis in Pakistan smacks of inherently weak economic fundamentals and priorities gone massively wrong. Pakistan's budget for 2022-23 prioritizes not public welfare moves, but defense and arms. Defense expenses put at 1,524 billion Pakistan rupees or $5 billion is 11% over last year, the second biggest component of annual expenditure after debt payments. Pakistan has decided to send military aid to Ukraine too.
That is right. There needs to be a realignment of priorities. There needs to be more spending on infrastructure. There needs to be more spending on export-oriented industries and so on. So, as I said, this is a structural issue that needs to be fixed. Without fixing this structural issue, we can't really move forward. And we don't really need more aid, but we need to position ourselves for more trade rather than just keep on getting more aid.
After one round of failing to convince the IMF, a sinking Pakistan clings to straws. Will the IMF soften on Pakistan, allow the desperately needed help its people need? But perhaps more importantly, will lessons ever be learnt? Will priorities ever change? When will people, not guns, ever come first?